Thanksgiving edition podcast, the sixth installment of our podcast, the Golden Brews. I'm Bishan, and on the other side is my brother Harry.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Yep, it's the day after Thanksgiving, and we caught some really good games yesterday.
Yep. Some
surprising games. Some things happened today, this morning, after those games. So it was a fun Thanksgiving. What did you, Bishan, what did you end up doing?
Well, as you know, my whole family is gone at the moment. You, my sister-in-law, and my nephew are all out there in Delaware.
Yeah.
Mom and dad are currently in India. I have no idea what they're doing. They never call. They don't text. They don't do anything. They must be having a good time though.
Yeah.
But during this time, it is a little bit harder, because this is the time of year you want to be around family. Yeah. But I'm very fortunate. I have a lot of friends who I consider somewhat family as well. So I was invited to a few houses yesterday. I went to, I think, 3 different houses yesterday. I was supposed to go to a 4th, but I couldn't do it, man. I was out. So, thanks to everybody that included me in their Thanksgiving plans. I had a blast. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. How about you, man? What did you and Bobby do?
Man, we got up around 8, 9 o'clock, started cooking around 10, and we didn't stop or finish at least until 2:30, 3 o'clock. We made about 6 different dishes, I think. Jalapeno poppers. I made this honey soy garlic lamb and salmon dish. Nice. We don't do turkey. It's just one of our things. You can ask my brother. We don't do turkey. Susu chicken, red meat. I don't know. I just think turkey's just, it's okay. But
it depends on how we do it. Yeah.
Yeah. We did that. It was fun. The process is fun, tiring, but it was fun. It was all worth it. Feel bloated. Super bloated this morning.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I'm right there with you, man.
Dude, I miss when we used to play football in the morning and then burn all those calories and then come back and eat food. Now it's just no football, no nothing. Just add on the calories, pack them on, and just deal with the consequences and get fatter.
What's funny is, when we were kids, all we looked forward to was playing football.
Yeah.
We had our buddies here in the cul-de-sac that we grew up in, and it was like, hey, we're ready, get up early.
Yeah.
The grass is still wet from the night prior, and it was just awesome. We had a blast. But now, it's not so much about playing football, it's about, watching football.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But one thing I did want to ask you though, what is your favorite Thanksgiving Day dish? What would you say it's a must, it's your go-to, you gotta have it?
I would say mac and cheese, the spicy mac that you and I made. It's that Costco habanero cheddar cheese, whatever, right? I think we've perfected that dish. I would probably say that's my go-to. I think I'm pretty sure.
I want to say I was thinking that you were going to go with your mashed potatoes and gravy. You just love mashed potatoes and gravy growing up. My goodness, you could eat a whole pot by yourself of mashed potatoes and gravy, but you couldn't have the mashed potatoes if you didn't have the gravy. You're like, the gravy's got to be there. I got to have that gravy. So I remember that, fondly as growing up for sure. Myself, and there's a lot of things that I really enjoyed when we were growing up. We used to have those little buttered biscuits and stuff. Remember those? Those are good. Mac and cheese, man. For some reason, even that store-bought stuff in the blue packaging mom would make, that was still good. That was still good, man.
Yeah.
And even sometimes we had it cold. Remember we'd have it cold?
Yeah.
Oh, man. A little salt and pepper on it.
Yeah, a little salt and pepper.
That's what it was, man. But all in all, as we grow older, our palates develop a little bit more, so we like things a little bit different.
Yeah.
I made a spicy green beans and potatoes that I learned from mom. So I made that as my side dish when I went over to my friend's place. But
nice.
All right. I think we can pack up on that. I'm sure everybody's already Thanksgivinged out, still eating their leftovers for the next 4 days.
Yeah.
Let's start the podcast, man. 6th installment. Let's get it.
Yeah. The game is actually going on right now. The Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. It's just such a boring game. Such a boring game. What is it, 3-3 or something? This is just, and it's literally like the first half is, I think it's coming to a conclusion. Yeah. Let's talk about week 12 first. Let's jump into that. Let's talk about the Niners. So I think this could be quick. We won't spend too much time. Niners get blown out by the Packers 38-10. A lot of storylines here. The defense missed tackle after tackle. Fred Warner missed 4 tackles. I don't think he's done that in a long time. There's some reports about him having an ankle injury, a fracture. Brandon Allen, backup quarterback for Brock Purdy, did not play well. If anything, the Brock stock went up through the roof, actually. And all those people that were talking about, any quarterback in Shanahan's offense can do well. Well, guess what? They can't. And Brock does really well in Shanahan's offense. Yeah. What are some of your thoughts after the game?
Brandon Allen is a backup quarterback for a reason. I didn't know prior to the game that he was dealing with a broken finger on his non-throwing hand. If anybody has played quarterback in the past, doesn't matter if it's grade school, if it's high school, college, pros, whatever, a quarterback needs both hands. And if a quarterback is hurt, or a broken pinky or a broken finger or what have you, it's going to make his job that much more harder. Handing the ball off, doing a toss, even just dinking and dunking. The guy did not throw a pass over, I think, 20 yards the whole game. And even if he did, it was out of bounds. That being said, I don't think everything was his fault. The defense allowed 38 points, which doesn't just happen. You kind of have to, let them do that to you. But I think the biggest takeaway from this is Brock Purdy. Blank check, baby. Whatever you want. Keys to the kingdom, that's all you. Brock Purdy was the biggest winner from the 49ers loss this week because they showed the type of offense they are without Brock Purdy. I mean, it almost looked like those Trey Lance days, when we had Trey Lance back in the day, or the Jimmy G when he was, atrocious towards the end of his tenure with the 49ers. Brock Purdy, man, he makes that offensive line look good. I mean, they did lose Trent Williams this week, but what Brock Purdy can do with his pocket presence, what he does with, just getting outside the pocket, he just has like this awareness of when things are collapsing down. He knows he needs to do something to get away. He's just a little energizer bunny, man, to be honest. So, Brock Purdy, we need you back, bud. Get healthy. We can't do this without you.
Yeah. Just terrible performance on both sides of the ball. The offensive side of the ball, man, that offensive line is so bad. Jake Brendel, once again, so bad. Colton McKivitz needs to go. Aaron Banks, contract year, is not playing well. They're going to have to clean house at the end of the offseason. I think all 3 of those positions need to be renewed. Defensive side of the ball, that D-line, they spent a good amount of resources this year trying to, beef up that D-line, especially the run stopping. Dude, once again, man, they're just getting through. Josh Jacobs had a big game, huge game.
Oh, yeah.
Gaping holes. Sorensen, he's not it, man. They have to get the equivalent of Kyle Shanahan defensively. Somebody that Kyle actually respects, right? Somebody that also possibly has had that experience as a head coach. at the NFL level, but now is, settled into a defensive coordinator position. There's a lot of guys out there, right? So, there's one that actually just got fired this morning. Bears head coach.
Matt Eberflus.
Yeah. Good defensive coordinator. He's not a good head coach, but a good defensive coordinator.
Let's just touch on that for a second. The dysfunction of the Bears franchise from losing yesterday against a divisional opponent, just terrible clock management towards the end of the game, and then sending Matt Eberflus out this morning to do his day after press conference. Following that press conference, firing him 2 hours after on Black Friday. And it was a Black Friday for him, for sure. Instead of Black Monday after the week 18 games, it was a Black Friday for him instead of being Black Monday. But my goodness, why would you trot the guy out there and have him embarrass himself and take questions about his job security? And you already know you're going to fire him. Why would you let him do that? The GM is at fault. The owner is at fault. I mean, yeah, the guy didn't get the job done, but you don't embarrass a man like that. That's just terrible. The whole Bears organization should be embarrassed. I mean, they should never have done something like that. And that's one of the core, franchises that started the NFL. And to see that happen, I mean, who would want to go work for them? I mean, if that's how you're going to treat someone that's going out the door, they pretty much kicked him while he was down. I mean, I hate it. I hate it.
No, I disagree with you. I don't think there's any good way of firing someone. Yeah, he did an interview ahead of this morning before getting the axe. Mm-hmm. There's no good way to fire someone. It just needs to happen, and it did. And if they didn't do anything, every Bears fan was calling for his head after the game yesterday. Mm-hmm. Let's just go through that sequence. So what did they had 30, right around 30 seconds. They're at the 40-yard line, maybe 35-yard line of the Detroit Lions. Mm-hmm. They don't call a timeout after getting sacked, right? It's 26 seconds left. They don't call a timeout. They try to run a play with six or 7 seconds left. And
ridiculous.
In the play, I don't get it. Caleb Williams drops back. He's literally dropped. I think maybe the Detroit Lions knew that. I don't know. Maybe they didn't. The D line kind of played back a bit. They ran that play. That ball was out of his hands with 1 or 2 seconds left. That game was over.
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, if he makes that pass and they score a touchdown, great.
Yeah.
Wow. They didn't, right? They should have called the timeout as soon as he got sacked. Ran one more play, and then kicked the field goal. Took that game into overtime, just like they did against the Vikings, but they didn't.
Yep.
Yeah, it sucks, man. There's no easy way to get fired or fire someone. This is just the league. Now going back to the Niners real quick, let's just close out here. Mm-hmm. Do they still have a shot at making the playoffs?
Well, they're playing the most dysfunctional franchise in the NFL at the moment this week. They're playing the Bears.
No, they're playing the Bills still.
I mean, the next week coming up after the Bills.
Are you writing this one off?
Are
you already thinking ahead to the Bears? Are you like...
I'm having a Bill Belichick moment on to Cincinnati.
Oh, man.
On to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my mistake. You're right. With the 49ers, we have the Bills this week, but looking beyond this week, they will be playing the Bears, and that's going to be a true. I mean, I believe it's here in Santa Clara.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a very winnable game against a team that's not on the right side of winning. So, I don't know. I think this week is going to be rough, and it's a wait and see thing for the 49ers. Wait to see who's healthy, who's actually going to be on the field, that stadium, the conditions to go play in.
Yeah.
That's going to be rough, man. It's going to be rough. So, and they're going clear across the country on a holiday weekend, which is no easy feat. The 49ers were not given any special treatment with this year's schedule, that's for sure.
Yeah. If Brock Purdy doesn't play this game, it will be a blowout. It will be over before it starts.
I'll tell you what, if Brandon Allen goes into Buffalo and beats the Bills,
jeez, okay? Dude, why would you even try? Why would you even try to?
If he goes out and he does that, the guy's going to get a free agent contract from some franchise that's going to say, hey, you're going to be our starter next year. Guaranteed. Watch. It happens all the time.
That's the dumbest thing ever. Nobody's going to give him a contract just because he beat the Bills. If anything, they're going to say it was Shanahan doing it, right? Not Allen. Shanahan would get the credit.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Let's not waste our times on that with that thought of Brandon Allen going and beating Josh Allen. That's not happening ever in our lives. Eagles beat the Rams in very, very strong fashion. They destroyed them. Offensive line for the Eagles is playing at a very high. They're draining the energy as the quarters progress of the defensive line. They're just putting their weight on them, and Saquon is being Saquon. He is the ultimate gamer. He is the best running back. He is what Christian McCaffrey was to the 49ers last year. Saquon is the offensive player of the league this year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Saquon has just been such a force for the Eagles. I mean, man, if you're a Giants fan, like, you just want to fire everybody. Like, whoever made that decision to allow him to walk.
Hold up. Let me ask you something about that. Just the Giants. Stay on that thought. Do you think Saquon puts up the same numbers with the Giants if he's still there?
No.
Right.
No. No, there's no way, no how. I mean, his career is probably shortened too because the beating he's probably going to take. So Saquon made the right decision for himself. My hat's off to him. He did right by himself, by his family, and I mean, the Eagles are going to treat him right. They have a great offensive line, a really good quarterback. The whole offense isn't just predicated on him running the ball. They have great weapons there. When he was a Giant, that was it. He was the team. Danny Dimes wasn't Danny Dimes. He would hand it off or dink and dunk with Saquon. Saquon was, 2/3 of that offense. And then, coming into this year, there's really not much on that Giants offense to be excited about besides Malik Neighbors. And Neighbors is a rookie. So
I disagree. Tyrone Tracy Jr. is playing pretty well for them. I think he's a late round draft pick that was a receiver in college, then converted to running back, and he's gonna be a really good player for them. I mean, if he gets he's got a little fumbleitis the last couple of games, not yesterday's game, but yeah, I think they got good players on the Giants. I think their whole management, head coaching and the GM, everyone, they need to clean house there for sure. Same thing with as what they did with the Bears. They need to clean house.
The Bears. There's a lot of teams out there right now. And, I heard something really interesting. Just kind of popping back to the Bears situation here for a second.
We love talking about the Bears.
What do you think about this idea of John Gruden coming back?
I think John Gruden had some issues with the league. I think he said some things to
Roger, probably.
Roger, yeah. It was some email. I'm not sure where. I don't know if it was over the phone or whatever, but he said some really bad things towards Goodell. And I think he ruined that relationship. And Gruden's not going back. He's signed with Barstool.
Yeah, I know.
So
it's such a dude.
Yeah, I mean he's perfect for Barstool.
He is. That's just a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
You know, seeing him and Portnoy together, it's just, man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like, that's just gonna be fun, man. This is gonna be fun. But he really. He's a great coach. Like, that nobody can take that away from him. Yes, he did inherit that Tampa Bay team from Tony Dungy.
Yeah.
But he got him over the top, so you can't take that away from him. And his team went to the Super Bowl, and he beat the heck out of them. You know what I mean? So, I just wanted to get your thoughts on it, though. Let's carry
on. We're talking about the Eagles. They're playing real at a high level. They're probably arguably one of the best teams in the NFC right now. I think they might be the only team that can go in now and face the Lions and possibly beat them. I had reservations about the Eagles prior to them going and playing the Rams. I saw that game. I think still has some reservations around Hurts, but I think he's starting to win me over a bit.
Jay Hurts.
I think they can go in, they can match, they can neutralize their running game, right? To a degree, the Lions running game. I don't know if the Lions can neutralize Saquon.
They just lost one of their linebackers for the rest of the year. They lost Rodriguez for the rest of the year. They did sign Quan Alexander from the Saints practice squad, former 49er, former Pro Bowl linebacker. So
hold on, Quan Alexander was on the practice squad for who?
For the Saints.
You're kidding.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, the Broncos. I apologize. Broncos. He played for the Saints last year, but he was on the Broncos practice squad.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I thought he was I didn't know he was a practice squad player. Now he's a good linebacker.
Oh, he's a great linebacker. Yeah. I mean, he had some really good years. I think injuries kind of hurt his trajectory a little bit, but that's a big blow to them. It's going to be hard to replace, somebody that's very integral to your defense, especially, if you're going to go against a team like the Eagles in the playoffs. Let me ask you. So would you take the Eagles and Lions or the rest of the NFC? If I gave you the option, what would you go with?
What do you mean? What are you saying? Like Eagles or Lions to go to the Super Bowl? Either one of those teams or
to come out of the NFC, yeah. Or would you take the field? Would you take the Eagles or Lions or the field?
I'd take the Eagles or Lions.
Yeah, I think so.
I
think they're head and shoulders right now above everybody else. I think out of those two, home field is going to play a big part, I think. But as we've seen from the Detroit Lions, weather doesn't matter. They've gone into, Green Bay and torched a Packer team in the elements. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think those two are pretty well 1-2 going into the playoffs. But so whoever does get that number one seed will have a bye week though, which is big. That's a big thing.
Yeah. That bye week is important.
Yeah.
NFC North is a really tough division, right?
Oh yeah.
It's just like you got Vikings, you got the Packers. Next week you're gonna have Packers versus Lions. We'll get to that game, but all right. So we both agree the Lions and Eagles most likely, the top two teams in the NFC.
Yep.
Who's your dark horse?
Bang Bang Niner gang, man. Come on, dude. You already know. No, I'm just kidding. There are some good teams out in the NFC, man. I mean, let's see. Who would I put as a dark horse team? Green Bay looked really good against the 49ers. The Commanders started off really well this year. They've kind of faltered a bit here. Their offense is not doing what it should be doing. I've gotten to see Tampa Bay play pretty well this year. The Cardinals are leading the NFC West right now for a reason. They're actually really good. I don't really see a dark horse, man, to be quite honest with you. I mean, would the 49ers be a dark horse? I mean, they've been to the NFC Championship a handful of times in the last few years, a couple Super Bowls too, but that, I don't know. I don't really see a clear-cut dark horse. Do you see something I'm not seeing?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. If you didn't watch the game last night with the Packers and the Dolphins, LaFleur's got something brewing over there in Green Bay. I think we're going to find out Thursday when they take on the Lions what exactly that is. Jordan Love, I don't know what it is. This guy loves to come like he sleeps through the first half of games, comes alive in the second half. And I think that's the same thing for the regular season. He just sleepwalks his way all the way down to the end of the, halfway through the regular season, then it just takes off. And that's what the Packers are going to do here. I think they are the team to watch out for. If I'm the Lions, I'm looking over my shoulder because they're coming for them. They have this sort of offensive skill players to put up the same amount of points as the Lions. I know they lost to them recently in Lambeau, but Jordan Love wasn't healthy. He was playing injured. He's a lot healthier now. Okay. I think Thursday we're gonna really see who this Packers team is. If they beat them, I'm gonna add the Packers. I'm gonna take them out of the dark horse, and I will add them, and I'll have them add them above the Lions. And I think they can I think they could do it twice. They can go into Detroit twice and beat them. Not just in the regular season, but also in the playoffs. Yeah. So, AFC. Who are your top two teams in the AFC?
AFC, of course. I mean, Kansas City's the number one. I mean, it's Kansas City, Buffalo. And it's a pick 'em to me. I still think the Buffalo Bills have the opportunity to get home field advantage. Kansas City Chiefs have played a few games this year, one-score games. They haven't won as decisively as they should. I mean, just based on point differential itself, the Buffalo Bills have outscored their opponents by 106-point margin. The Kansas City Chiefs, to that matter, only 52. So that's double the margin of victory. I don't put a huge, piece of stock in statistics, but I mean, this kind of stat, it does kind of speak for itself.
Yeah.
So that being said, I think Buffalo is going to be number one, and the Chiefs will be number two. Coming in, and then they have I believe they own a tiebreaker against them as well. They beat them, I believe.
Yeah. So they just beat them.
I don't know if the tiebreaker goes to the head-to-head or it's based on division wins. So that's something that we'll have to kind of figure out.
Yeah, no, it's head-to-head.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, because they're not in their division, right?
Well, yeah, but if you're but they're both undefeated in the division anyway, so it doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's Chiefs-Bills. I think the Chiefs are going to end up losing another game here, right?
Yeah.
They're, like you said, they're not winning the way that the Bills are winning, right? Mm-hmm. They're scoring a lot more points. The point differential is a lot higher for the Bills versus the Chiefs. I mean, we're looking at this game right now. It's 10-3 at halftime. 10-3 against the Raiders. Are you kidding me? I mean, this guy Mahomes just played the Carolina Panthers at the end of the game in his press conference. He's talking about, I want to go out there and we want to score a lot. We want to score more points. We don't want to win these close games, right? We want to have blowouts. You can't blow out the Raiders at home on national television. Like, this is national television. Everyone's watching this right now. There's no other games being played, and you guys are doing. The Raiders have one of the weakest defenses in the NFL.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Anyways, I agree with you. I think Bills will probably end up securing that number one seed. I think that Kansas City's going to have to travel back to the Bills Stadium. I don't know, what's the Bills Stadium called?
That is I'm not sure. Used to have, why am I forgetting their name? But Bill's Mafia will be out there.
Yeah.
Bill's Mafia. Man,
Bill's
those guys they like to get it, man.
Yeah.
They like to get it. So that'd be fun. I'd love to see these East Coast games that have inclement weather during the playoffs. Oh my goodness. There's nothing better than that. I hope they talked about Cleveland building a new stadium, but they want to make a dome stadium.
Yeah.
Oh, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Man, watching that Browns Steelers game in the snow.
That was so cool. So cool.
Goodness. It's one of the best games of the year right there. Man.
Yeah. Do you remember when we used to play Madden and whenever we play against each other, we would go to the elements and the weather. We change it to snow, heavy snow, right?
Heavy snow every
time.
Every time.
And we would even go and pick the stadium sometimes, even if we weren't, like, it was like the Niners versus, like, let's say the Rams or whatever, right?
Yeah.
We would literally change the stadium to Green Bay or Pittsburgh or Foxborough. But most of the time it was Lambeau, right? And Lambeau is
iconic, man.
Frozen tundra, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
iconic, man.
So good. Okay, AFC, we've established who 1-2 is. Who is the dark horse in the AFC?
This is interesting. I have somebody that's just right there. Actually, I'm not not gonna even look. It's the Los Angeles Chargers. Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh is, well known to you and I, watching him for his first stint in the NFL with the 49ers. The guy's just a winner, man. He is like, man, he's just like a player's guy. Like, that's the guy that you want to run through a wall for. I feel like the Chargers are just finding their stride right now. Herbert is getting more and more comfortable. Dobbins just got an MCL sprain the other day, but I'm sure he's going to bounce back. Ladd McConkey, man, he's been turning into such a great find as a rookie. Their defense, I mean, you got Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Yeah, you're going to win some games. And not to mention Derwin James in their secondary. That team is stacked.
Yeah.
They play in an amazing stadium down in SoFi. There's really no other team I see that as a dark horse candidate that nobody's talking about, because Patrick Mahomes and company are the clear-cut division winners. Just crown them already. We already know they're going to win the division. But that's the best way as a Jim Harbaugh-led team to get into the playoffs. You don't want to be a division winner. You don't want to be have a bye or anything. You want to be the underdog. You want to go in there and you want to play your game and have them on their heels. So go Chargers.
Man, every time we do any episode, you always bring up the Chargers. It's like that's your AFC team now, the Chargers.
I mean, they're great, dude. I mean, come on, you got to admit they've built something really great over there. They've drafted well, but the player personnel hasn't changed. They brought in two guys this year that are different, with Dobbins and Ladd McConkey, but everything else is very similar to the team that Harbaugh inherited from Singletary. When he came over to the Niners, and he just implemented his system, and they reaped the benefits. So, what do you think?
Well, I do also want to note that Kansas City has a pretty tough division moving forward, right?
Oh, yeah.
Harbaugh I don't think Harbaugh is scared of anything, because think about it. He probably had plenty of opportunities across the NFL to take a different, like, there was so many head coaching vacancies last year, right? And I mean, why would he want to go to the AFC West, where you have to see Andy Reid twice a year? You have to see Patrick Mahomes twice a year. The guy he's fearless, right?
Yep.
All right. He's taking notes. He's analyzing. He's saying, if I see them, I know I'm going to see them in the playoffs, right? So I get to see them twice a year, right?
Yep.
To build my team's confidence, right?
Yep.
And Harbaugh knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. But my dark horse is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll tell you why. I know they lost to the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
It was a tough game. Really crappy weather. Russell Wilson made some big plays in that game. I think Russell Wilson will be the biggest X factor. He's got Super Bowl pedigree. He's got a really good defense. He's got two good big receivers. We're talking tall receivers. I think both of them are 6'3" or 6'4". Mike Williams and Pickinson. They're big receivers, man. They're not small. Those are the type of guys you're going to need in the playoffs.
Yeah.
In January when it's cold, those big dudes. I think the Steelers, man, they're the team that I probably wouldn't want to play because they're going to hit you at all levels, special teams, defense, and offense. If you're in a close game with them, be ready because they will take it, because Mike Tomlin is very, very sound when it comes to being a NFL head coach. So, I would take Pittsburgh.
It doesn't get any better than Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, you want to talk about a head coach? That's like the prototype of a head coach that you'd want. Yep. That guy is just a plain, clear-cut winner. He takes Pittsburgh to new heights every time he steps out there on the field. Every single one of his guys plays for the guy next to him, and in turn plays for him. They've built something really special there. Russell Wilson's come in, like you said, coming with championship pedigree. He's had some down years in Denver, but Denver was very dysfunctional, in my opinion. So going into a place where you have a leader as a head coach, someone that is a no-nonsense guy, you want to play for him. And it's elevated Russell Wilson's play. He hasn't had the greatest year, but it's all about wins and losses at the end of the day. If you ask any of those guys in Pittsburgh, would they rather win or would they rather put up, great statistics? It's all about the W at the end of the day, and they're showing it. So for sure, I could definitely see that with Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So, back to the 49ers real quick. I was scrolling through Twitter, and this was right after the Packers had just blown them out. Colin Cowherd on his show said a few pretty heinous things about the 49ers, and Brock Purdy. I just hate this guy's takes, all right? But here, let me read this. How the Niners view themselves and how the rest of us view the Niners are two different things. Here's how the rest of us view the Niners. The Kansas City Chiefs toy with you. Under Kyle Shanahan, they are 5-0 against you. 4 blowouts. That's a lie, by the way. We'll fact check that. You are not close to Kansas City, 0-5, with 4 double-digit losses. They're getting better. You're getting old, worse, and expensive. They keep rebuilding the O-line, rebuilding the receiving core. Andy Reid, Mahomes in his prime. You got Brock Purdy and an old, expensive, brittle roster. It's not close. Now Baltimore and Buffalo have superstar quarterbacks, so they still have a shot, and many of their best players in Baltimore and Buffalo are in their prime. But Brock Purdy and an aging roster, does that sound like you're on the precipice of a 9-year run? ? End quote. Colin Cowherd. This guy. What do you think? And I'll get my thoughts after.
That's a load of crap. Colin Cowherd's always had it out for the 49ers. There are certain people out there that they just don't like certain teams. He doesn't like the 49ers. He never has. I've never heard him say anything good about them. He's always talked down to, the quarterbacks they've had, Brock Purdy for sure. I mean, listening to him is like listening to someone scratch on a chalkboard, like with their hands or something. It's just, man, it just makes your skin crawl a little bit. I have nothing to say about Colin Cowherd. Honest to God, he is on the Kansas City bandwagon. He's always been on the Kansas City bandwagon. He's just terrible, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. No, sorry, carry on.
The 49ers have had a good run these last few years. Yeah, it hasn't resulted in the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl, but you can't take away anything that they've done. They've built a great team. They've built a great franchise. They're the cream of the crop when it comes to the NFC West. The other teams in the NFC West, the Rams, Cardinals, and Seahawks, if you look back at the last, handful of years, the 49ers definitely have way more wins than each one of those teams. Yeah, they haven't gotten it done when it comes down to crunch time and against the Kansas City Chiefs. But there's a little luck on that Chiefs sideline, man. I don't know what it is. They get these calls sometimes too. I mean, it's crazy. But
yeah.
Who knows, man? It sucks though because the 49ers have done some really great things, but now that they're a little down, you're going to hear a lot of this noise. A lot of this noise going to be coming out. Colin Cowherd's not going to be the only one.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of noise coming out of these big mouth media experts.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, football experts, so-called football experts. Yeah, they're just like us, man. It's clickbait, right? They're he's trying to stir up some stuff with the 49ers, Shanahan. There's a lot of talk around, Twitter X about Shanahan possibly getting the axe. That's not going to happen.
No.
Just because he has one down year, and even he's not even having a down year. The offense is ranked number 2 overall in total offense. You have the defense ranked in the top 10 as well. Probably not after the last game. They probably dropped a bit on both sides of the ball. But this team is a good team. Yes, Kansas City is in their heads, right?
Mm-hmm.
That hasn't changed. I think the only way to change that is you're going to have to make some personnel changes. You're going to have to get some people in the Niners building that know how to beat Kansas City. Period. You're going to have to get people in there that have done it, been there, right? Done that. You can't keep putting the same product out there. It's not working. You got Sorensen, for example. You wanted to get back to, what you had with Saleh. It's not going to happen. You got to move away from it. The defensive coordinator needs to change, and he needs to come from outside the organization. I would even look at the AFC West. I would look. Sorry, is it the AFC West? Is that where the Chiefs play?
Yes.
Yeah, AFC West. Yeah.
Yes.
I would look at the Chargers. I would look at the Broncos. I would look at the Raiders. I would look at a team that plays them twice a year. They game plan more than any of these other teams do. The Broncos have been playing really good defense lately.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders right now are playing really well. It's 3-10. It's third quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to change it up here, right? You have to get out of the whole, hey, we're going to keep running the same thing over and over. It has to change.
You want to do something a little wild here?
Yeah.
I mentioned point differential to you earlier. The point differential for the 49ers, do you know what it is?
What is it?
0. They've scored and allowed the same number of points. I never in a million years would have guessed that. That is wild.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry. It's 260. Oh, wow.
How crazy is that? Oh, my goodness. That's nuts.
I think, yeah. And you clearly have the personnel on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. Not special teams, though. They need to get back to Jim Harbaugh's type of special teams, right? When they used to come out to Tony Montana, right? When they used to pump. You remember that, right? When that special teams with CJ Spiller, they had some stunners on that team, man.
You shouldn't mention CJ Spiller. You should edit that out.
It's not Spiller. Who was it? What was his name?
It was CJ Spiller, but don't. You should edit that out.
Why? You can say it. I'll edit this out after.
Oh, he got convicted of rape.
Oh, Well,
he's in jail. He's in jail for the rest of his life. So, and it wasn't just one woman; it was multiple.
Well,
yeah.
You
need to.
And we're talking about the football, though, or outside of the football, like we don't control that. This is not a character thing, right? So,
I know. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm talking about guys that actually would perform well on special teams.
Oh yeah, we had it was all three phases of the game. That's the thing that we talk about all the time is if you're not winning all three phases, you're not going to win the game.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that. You know, the special teams is just as important as defense and offense. When you can figure this out, you'll be that much more better.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Bills, for example, right? They cleaned house during the offseason. They let go of Stephon Diggs. They let go of a lot of their big playmakers, big contracts, right?
Yep.
They're in debt now, right? Because of those big contracts, but they needed to get out of those, right? I think their offense hasn't looked as good as it ever has under Josh Allen and what's their head coach's name? I apologize, I'm blanking on it. But regardless, the Bills head coach.
Yeah.
Their offense is playing really well, right?
Yeah,
and
they've been doing
they
great.
don't have
McDermott, Sean McDermott.
Sean McDermott.
Yeah,
they don't have a big star receiver anymore, right? They've moved away from that. And there's no noise now. Now Josh Allen is just distributing the ball, doing his thing, finding the open guy, and I think Purdy can do the same thing.
Yes.
If Purdy gets an O-line, they invest more into the offensive line. That could potentially happen with the 49ers too. Let's see what happens with them. Let's move on to... We already covered some of the Turkey Day games, so yeah, let's move on to Pick'em, right? Before we close things off here. All right. So let's go in reverse now. So Seahawks and Jets. Who do you got?
This is interesting. I think it's two teams that are going in two different directions. I don't think the Jets are good at all. I think they are a dumpster fire from the president of the team all the way down to, the guys that, are the water boys. Honest to God, it is just such a terribly run franchise.
Yeah.
Maybe they're taking a page out of the New York Giants playbook because they suck real bad too. I'm going to go with Seahawks. The Seahawks are head and shoulders, I think, above the New York Jets. What about you?
Yeah, I think the Seahawks are coming off a pretty big win. The Jets are, they're just... They have on and off games. I think their talent, their talent alone, if it comes to play, they'll probably win the game. Right. I think the Seahawks are actually going to be without DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
So they're going to be kind of, just under the weather when it comes to offense. I don't think they're going to be as productive as they would be with DK. So I'm going to go with the Jets here. I think they're going to end up winning this game, playing at home, and maybe Aaron Rodgers is trying to play for, something here, just so he doesn't go out on, the way he has been the last couple of games.
Aaron Rodgers is going to follow in the footsteps of the great Brett Favre, and he's going to go play for Minnesota next year, guaranteed.
Why would he play for Minnesota? Minnesota's got two quarterbacks there. That doesn't make sense.
I'll bet you.
That's not going to happen. Anyways, he's done. He'll retire at the end of the year. Eagles at Ravens. This one's going to be good.
That's in my eyes, that's definitely the game of the week, man. I right now it's hard to pick against the Eagles. That being said, I'm going to pick the Ravens.
Okay.
I just think Lamar is better than Jalen Hurts, and I think they'll figure out a way to lock in on Saquon. So I think the Ravens are going to take this one.
Yeah. I got the Eagles in this one. I think their defense, those two corners, those young corners they have, are locked down. Their secondaries playing really well. Their defense gets off the field. Their offense stays on the field. They're playing really good football. I think Sirianni's actually doing a great job. We've been killing him last couple episodes, right? But he's
locked in.
He's in. He's locked in. Yeah, he's got those guys playing at a high level.
They're doing really well.
Cardinals, Vikings.
Man, Cardinals, Vikings. Cardinals, man, they look good. Vikings are kind of up and down. I feel like the Cardinals are going to take this one. I feel like, they have the little Energizer Bunny, and he's been playing real well lately. So I'm gonna go with the Cardinals in this one, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the opposition again. This is where we're both. It's funny. I picked the opposing teams for each one of these. The Vikings will take this one. They're playing at home. They're just overall a much more talented team than the Cardinals. Cardinals are reeling after that loss to the Seahawks. They got beat down by the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And all right, final game. Let's just do it. Niners at Bills. Unbiased takes.
Whoops. This is gonna be this is tough. Niner Nation out there, the faithful.
Don't say Niner Nation. Nobody says Niner Nation. I can't believe you just said Niner Nation. No, you're gonna get killed.
The faithful.
Yes.
The faithful.
Yes.
Okay, the faithful. Sorry. All right.
Jeez. Patrick Mahomes said Niner Nation and he got killed. 49ers Twitter was just angry. And you're sitting here being a 49er fan for how long now? And you're gonna call him Niner Nation? Dude, come on.
Well, faithful.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Niners. Let's go.
Faithful. I'm taking the Bills. I'm a Niner fan too, but I don't see the 49ers going over there to Buffalo in what looks to be a very, very snowy game. I mean, we're talking heavy snow.
If Brock Purdy plays in this game, the 49ers have a chance. If Brock Purdy does not play in the game and Brandon Allen's out there, then Bills Mafia, you all got this.
Yeah, even Brock Purdy plays in the game, I think it's still going to be a tough one for them. Maybe the Bills have won in a lot of games, and now they're, this is the one that they take, lose. And the 49ers actually find something. Dre Greenlaw actually might play too, so we'll see about that. I think he'll be a game-time decision.
That would be big for the Niners.
I mean, they can literally, Dre Greenlaw can be running 50%, and he will be better than the product that the 49ers are putting out there right now at the linebacker position, the second level. Cool. All right. Dude, that was fun. That was quick. We kind of went through a lot. I know it's just the NFL on this episode. I know we didn't talk a whole lot about other things like we normally do, the UFC and basketball. I think next week we'll probably dive a little bit further into what's going on in the other sports, especially the NBA Cup, right? That's going to be that's starting to become finalized today. There's a lot of games, right? So we'll see what happens with that. We'll talk a little bit more about that next week. Obviously, the conclusion of these games, right, in the NFL. So hopefully we can churn out an episode in week. That'll be our episode 7 next week on Tuesday. Yeah, man. I guess. What are any closing thoughts?
It's a fun time to hang out with family, be a little lazy, watch some football, eat some good food. Hope everybody's just enjoying this weekend, staying safe out there. Just enjoy it, everybody. Appreciate you guys watching as always. Very blessed to be able to do this with my brother. Even though we're not together this weekend, it still feels like it because, we have this kind of back and forth, something that I really cherish. So appreciate everybody watching. This was the 6th installment of the Golden Brews Podcast.
Hell yeah.
What do you got to say, bro?
Yeah, man. I'm excited about you coming up here to New York. Hopefully you come to New York and come see us. And then, we can travel down to Philly here and then, actually shoot in person, which will be awesome, right? That'll be our first in-person session. Look, man, it's been amazing first 5-6 episodes that we have now filmed. I mean, I think the just the reception, our expectations have. I mean, we are more than happy with the so far the outcome of the 6th episode. So I hope we're gonna continue this. This is too much fun.
Yes,
and
it really is.
Yeah. Just make sure everyone, we are on all social media accounts. So YouTube, Spotify, where you can find the podcast and every episode. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and X. TikTok and Instagram, we are publishing a lot of reels, right? Mm-hmm. So, snippets from each episode. If you don't, want to sit there for like the whole hour or whatever we film for, just check out the reels. I think we have some interesting takes, and at least I hope you feel like we have some interesting takes. And then X, man, we are blasting away. So follow us on X, where I think we got some. We're always on Sundays and tweeting away. So that's it for me.
Cool, guys. Thanks for watching.
Cool. See you, everyone.
See ya.